while I'm waiting for my traditional bread to rise. If you want to just rest, relax, that's what we do for an hour. Or clean up. I actually recommend the cleanup process. I'm going to make challah, which is an egg bread. It has honey in it and all kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to use my stand mixer because it's the second biggest bowl I have. I have in here water, and again, the recipe's I'm gonna link the recipe because I pulled this recipe off of a recipe website, so I'll make sure that they get credit for this because I don't create recipes. I'll make them, but I don't create them. Yeah, so I need to get my yeast and stuff in here, so let's get rolling. All right, yeast, 1 tablespoon. And the methodology is a little different with this because we are dealing with different things. So only 1 tablespoon of yeast in this one. Calls for 4 tablespoons of oil, which I'm using a 1/4 cup measure. It's an approximation. I will recommend, seeing so the next step requires you to add honey, use the measuring cup that you just had oil in for your honey. Of course, don't dip it in your honey, but it'll come out easier because it's now liquid. It's now got oil in it. Now, because I do make other things that require large amounts of honey, I have large amounts of honey on hand. Here a little bit. There we go. There's half. Sorry, that's a 1/4 cup measure. And I need half a cup. So where the sugar was feeding the yeast to get it started, with the other recipe that I just finished putting to rise, the honey is doing the same here. And the honey really does make a difference to get the oil really does make a difference to get all of that honey out of there. Get that out so I don't end up contaminating things. I'm just giving this a little bit of a stir so that the honey gets put into the liquid. Now, it's a stand mixer. It's going to do that for me. And yes, my hands are clean. My hands are in and out of wash water and cleaning water constantly during this process. Alright, so let's get this on the stand mixer. Oh, the other thing it wants, 2 eggs. It is an egg bread after all. So in here we have our water, yeast, honey, oil, eggs, and we need a tablespoon of salt. Make sure you can still see what I'm doing. Yes, you can. Lovely. Okay, once this has gotten mixed, and by mixed, you're just looking to make sure that things are incorporated. You're adding 8 cups of flour. Now, you don't want to, if you're using a stand mixer, don't do this all at once. I usually add in 3 to 4, mix it up, then I add in another 1 at a time, because that's 3. Because I don't want to mess, quite simply. Can you see what that is doing in the bowl? You can. Lovely. So basically what I have in the bowl right now is a slurry. Okay. Now, I only have my stand mixer on 1 right now as it slowly incorporates things. So you can tell I'm not overly concerned about the stand mixer getting all covered in flour. It gets washed. Once you can see that the majority of the flour is incorporated, then add the next one. So we're at 7 now. If your stand mixer starts to have struggles with the dough, you can turn it up a little bit because, again, I've only got it on 1. You see the dough is pulling away from the side now, but it's still too wet. As it incorporates, I can see that that last 8th cup is definitely going to be needed. Here it's starting to struggle, so we're going to turn it up a little bit. There we go. Measure out number 8. Okay, there's 8, but I'm not going to put the whole thing in just because I want to make sure that this is going to incorporate smoothly. Oh, the poof. Now my stand mixer is not really big enough for this to do it easily. So take off the top rim, and I am dipping my hand in the flour to do this. And I think for the last half cup, I'm going to do it myself. There we go. Same process as if you watched the basic bread recipe. And I'm just putting some flour in, and I'm going to knead it. Now this dough feels so different because of its extra components, using the oil and all the honey and stuff. Now I am going to knead it on the table because stand mixer bowls are not the best for hand kneading. You can still see it's quite sticky. But the next process, after we knead it out and we find that it's a smooth dough, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let it rest and double in size. And then we will come back and form it and get it into pans and bake. There we go. That's better. Again, with the bowl, I'm going to make sure that that feels good. That feels real good, actually. Everything is nicely incorporated. I don't want too much flour in here. It'll dry it out. So I'm going to spray this, and then we'll put it to rise. Again, it's going to be at least an hour till it doubles in size. Okay, next step for the challah recipe, or egg bread. We have more than doubled in size. It's a nice firm dough. I'm going to turn it out here. There we go. And that is why we always oil your bowl. Make sure you get that in the water right away so that it doesn't become a solid mass on you. And what I want to do, I'm going to weigh this out because I want to know what we've got here. I suspect I can do 3. This is a lovely dough to work with. 1.8. Stop. Pretty close. Not bad. Not bad for eyeballing it. Okay, so we're going to do 3 loaves, and I actually want to braid them. I'm not going to get too fancy, just going to do a 3-strand braid. I have done a 6-strand braid and a 5-strand braid, and that's fun. But I'm looking for something just a little more simple today because I'm making a lot of bread. 246, 207, 231. So we'll take this one. I might have taken too much off that centerpiece. No? Okay, good. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a basic braid, but I need to incorporate this into the dough. So this is basic dough work, and all I'm doing is stretching it out. I don't want to abuse it too much. I don't want to work the dough too much because then you have the potential of ending up with really tough bread. So, and we don't want that. Feeling the dough. It is bouncing back pretty good. Okay. So for your basic braid, you want them to be attached at one end. You see what I'm doing? Good. Alright, so we're going to put one in the middle, and then we'll put one in the middle, and we're going to put one in the middle. Let's make that a nice tight braid. There we go. Attach at this end. Y'all can see that? Yeah. Okay, let me get a pan. We're going to tuck each end underneath. So you end up with this lovely braid on top. Just get that underneath. Okay. It's quick. There we go. And I will do the rest with this. And but I do, before I go any further though, I want to show you the difference. Because I'm doing 2 different types of bread today. I want to show you the color difference between the traditional loaf and the egg bread. And that's the coloration simply from those beautiful egg yolks that ended up in the bread. All right, final part of the egg bread or challah. And there's 2 of the loaves. I'm gonna bring you around, do this again, across the floor. Here's the one I just cut into. Very nice. Turned out great. Families love homemade bread, so enjoy. Have yourself a great day. Bye.